Hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Welcome. Wonderful day. It's your man DJ Dots back with another episode of the Audible Daily Sports Breakdown from yours truly. Raw, uncut, my opinion only. So where do we start? Of course, the NBA big news coming out the NBA today. And we're going to have some things we're going to discuss, a little bit of NFL, but mainly the NBA. First off, I want to give him his just due. Give him his just due. It's only deserving for tonight and for tonight only. Joel Embiid, if you haven't heard the news, has been named NBA MVP. Well deserving of the award. Very well deserving of the award. Big man averaged over 33 points for a winning team. Really pulled it out, I would say, the second half of the season. First half of the season, it was looking like Yoke was going to take it away, win his third straight. First time that's been done, three straight since Larry Bird. But sadly, he ends up as number 2. But congratulations, Joel Embiid, for bringing home the MVP trophy to Philadelphia. Now the question still remains, will he play again this season? Philadelphia still kind of being mum on the injury status. They're not really saying. They're not even really being clear. They're saying he has a sprained PCL, but other reports are saying it's a tear of the PCL, small tear of the PCL, but, what's small when you can that big of a man. But congratulations, Joel Embiid. If you didn't watch the game last night, didn't catch the highlights, I don't know why. The NBA is fan-goddamn-tastic. If you didn't catch the highlights, James Harden went off of 45, went back to old Harden, pulled out the big win, game 1, still home court advantage in Boston. And I would say Philadelphia has to be encouraged with the game 1 victory, considering the fact that Jason Tatum went off, Jaylen Brown got his. Very good offensive game. Now, it wasn't no defense being played. And I've been screaming that since I've been doing these shows, that Boston is just not as locked in defensively as they were last year. And I believe it's going to cost them. I believe this may be the series that cost them. But we'll see. We'll see. But great game by James Harden. DeAnthony Melton came off the bench with big buckets. Maxey came through. Tobias Harris finally starting to earn his paycheck. So congratulations to the Philadelphia 76ers for winning. Now tonight's, action. How you doing, Ms. Murph? Here and I saw it live. Hey, good for you Philly fans. Ugh. But tip-off is, we had a tip-off earlier tonight, 7:30 tip-off. Heat and Knicks. Jimmy Butler has been ruled out for this game due to ankle injury. Last I checked, it was kind of close. Getting ready to go to half. Let me make sure. Kind of get you the score, kind of keep up with it. Just as I do the show, I like to kind of keep up what's going on with the NBA as far as the games. 48-46, about 2 minutes before the half. New York cannot afford to lose this game. You can't lose a game, first of all, at home. You need a split, to make it, make this a dogfight. No Jimmy Butler. Where is Miami going to get the offense from? New York, you got to win tonight. You don't win tonight, you're going to be in the same boat as the Suns, who lost last night, lost to Denver. Denver really putting the clamps on them. And I will say this, after watching the game and kind of breaking down, what I'm seeing from Phoenix. First of all, Phoenix is shooting way too many jump shots. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I mean, KD shot what, 4 free throws? The team as a whole only shot 10. I mean, that tells me you're not being aggressive, you're not attacking the paint. Yes, you guys can shoot. We know that. It has been well established. But you got to put Denver in some kind of foul trouble. You can't disallow Denver to just, you're just gonna have to shoot over the top of us. And eventually you're gonna have games where that jump shot is not falling. Then what? You need to establish somewhat of an inside presence. You would think that would be DeAndre Ayton, but we know he's soft as cotton tissue. He is not a force in the paint. And last night he got manhandled by the Joker. Not that he's the first, not well, he won't be the last to get manhandled, but for a guy, and I would say, I say this about Joke, and I would say the same thing about Luka. These guys athletically shouldn't even be on the floor in the NBA, but the skill set, the way they move their feet, the IQ level allows them to not only be on the court but excel at a very high level. To excel at a very high level, Joker just went to work, spin moves, this bully boy, Ayton. And I had hopes for Ayton coming out of college. I had hopes for Ayton. I was like, maybe he's the next wave of big man, but it's just like he doesn't play with any heart to me. And let's go out on a limb here. I know it's only 2-0, but the way they have looked, way Phoenix has looked, I'm gonna have to go Denver, kind of wrapping this series up, and it may go down in 5. I mean, they're locked in defensively, getting just enough offense from guys. Phoenix can't walk away from last night's game feeling encouraged by anything. Yeah, Joke got his, but Jamal Murray had a horrible shooting game, and you still lost by double digits. Shooting jump shots is not going to do it. One-on-one ball is not going to do it. And Phoenix got even more bad news. Chris Paul went out, I want to say, end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth. Had a groin injury. I like CP3. And I've always liked CP3 as a player, but man, something about him, playoffs, injuries, he just can't get out of his own way with that curse, man. Like, and I feel bad for him because, like I said, I've liked CP3 since he was at Wake Forest. But the guy stays hurt. I mean, and we're talking about a much older player. Phoenix is going to have to make a decision in the offseason. What do you do with Chris Paul? What do you do with Chris Paul? He's not retiring. I don't believe so. But what do you do with Chris Paul? He's making a lot of money for a much older point guard. You're paying this guy all-star money, and he's not giving you all-star level performance. I mean, he's suitable, but he's lost a step on defense. Offensive game is still, kind of clean, but it's more crafty than anything. The days of Chris Paul blowing by point guards is gone. You got to make a decision, Phoenix. And I said this when they traded for KD. You got a superstar, but I felt like Phoenix was a team that didn't need it. You didn't need a KD to kind of put you over the top. I think you might have looked at maybe getting some more some more pieces. You gave away your whole bench. You gave away a lot of the versatility, a lot of the defense that you had in the previous seasons. And I don't think this trade is going to work out. Do you look in the offseason to possibly bring in a third star? I mean, is the super team model still a viable model in today's NBA? Is it really a viable model? You have to ask yourself that. Is it a viable model in today's NBA? Like the days of putting the LeBrons, Wade's, Bosh's, those are anomalies. I mean, to me, it's rare when you put talent together like that, and it wins. KD going to Golden State, those are anomalies. That's not the norm. I mean, KD going to Golden State doesn't work if Clay doesn't take a back seat, Draymond doesn't take a back seat, and namely Steph, if he doesn't take a back seat and allow KD to kind of take over that top dog role as far as like on the court. Phoenix, I think, when you look back at it, you got KD, but what are you getting for it? You're not going any further in the playoffs. I don't think the way you're playing and the way Denver's playing you, I don't think you're getting past Denver. You traded KD, you traded a lot of assets and a lot of young assets, guys you could be using right now because you have no bench. You have no bench. It's just KD and Book up and down the court. DeAndre Ayton with an occasional bucket, CP with an occasional bucket, but CP's out. And that kind of brings me to the question of the night. Are injuries ruining the playoffs? I mean, every series has been affected by some sort of, I would say, injury. Every series has been affected by some sort of injury. Now, I know since sports, guys get hurt, guys get injured, but is it ruining? So much NBA news there. I got to get to it, Gator Girl. I'm gonna get to it. But is injuries ruining your playoff experience? Like you can look at this playoffs, man. Like it was already kind of wide open. You had Milwaukee as being kind of like the favorite going in, but they're out in the first round due to Giannis being out for 3 games. Now that you have Jimmy Butler getting hurt, Embiid possibly gone for the playoffs. We don't know. Philadelphia's not telling us anything. I think Ja was hampered in the Memphis series. They missed Steven Adams. They missed Brandon Clark. CP3 is gone now. Kawhi is gone now. PG. I mean, every playoff series has had to kind of deal with injuries that have kind of changed the course of a series, have kind of changed the course. Denver is looking, like the team out west because probably they're the healthiest, along with Golden State and the Lakers. Phoenix, I mean, where do you go from here? Book gave you 45 minutes. These guys cannot keep playing these long minutes, and they're having to work. They're having to work not only on the offensive end to provide production, but on the defensive end. I mean, but like I said, injuries are part of the game, but it kind of takes some of the luster. Like Miami is playing New York right now, but no Jimmy Buckets is. I mean, it's not much. I'm gonna be honest. It's not much must-watch TV. It's just not. As much as we like to harp on, superstars and names, you like watching those guys play. Whether you get tired of hearing about LeBron and stuff, would you be excited for a Warriors series without a LeBron or Steph? I mean, honestly, would you be that excited by the guys on the court if you didn't have those superstar type talents drawing your attention to the TV? I mean, that's a question you got to ask yourself. Question you got to ask yourself. And speaking of questions of a man with an alligator mouth and a hummingbird ass, news came out of Memphis today. Dillon Brooks will not be re-signed by the Memphis Grizzlies, according to reports, under any circumstances. I'm not happy about it. It's not like let's be clear here. Let's be clear. Let's be clear about Dillon Brooks. He's a good, solid player. He's not a star. He's not a superstar. Your skill set doesn't even translate to being a superstar player. I think you're a nice player. I think you could be a starter on a lot of teams. So I don't feel too bad for him. He's going to find a job in the offseason. Some team is going to sign him. Some team is going to pay him. He's still a good player. But when you have a hummingbird ass with alligator mouth, you kind of get what you deserve. Now think about it. Why, because what happened with the Lakers, him running his mouth all season. Yeah, I get it, great. Yeah, that's not how you do a guy. And I was going to bring that up just now. Like, if you had no plans of resigning him, why make it known to the public? And I think them coming out publicly and saying that is sending a message to not only him but also other guys on the team. Like we're not going to be childish next year. We're going to be professional next year. I think the message more or less was aimed towards Ja more than Dillon, and that's how I kind of read into it, because you really don't hear too much. Like Dallas hasn't come out and said whether they're going to resign Kyrie or not. Most teams in the offseason, hey, they're non-committal. Roll Tide, get a girl. I mean, but most teams are really non-committal. Hey, we'll look at our options in the offseason. Of course, we would like to have them back. But we got to also look at other parts of the team we want to improve, and we'll see if he's in our plans. That's typically what you get from general manager. That's what you typically get from organizations across all lines of team sports. They're very like non-committal, not non-committal on. And superstar players are different, but this the average player. Hey, no one is caring. like the NFL. The team is not releasing a statement like this for the slot receiver, the third string guy. No, they're not. No one is releasing these kind of statements for backups, offensive guards. These guys, if you're not superstar, they're really not. This is not non-committal. Hey, we'll see if he figures into our plans. This is what we're kind of looking at. We'll see. They don't, but Dillon Brooks, hey, I think I said they're sending a message to namely John Morant. Hey, next year we're kind of getting away from the fun loving, let you kind of do what you want. We're going to be focused on winning basketball games. And I think you got to have that kind of a mindset when we're talking about professional sports. Yeah, you want guys to have fun. You want guys to show the joy that they have playing the game, but all the extra stuff that kind of goes on with some of these players, that doesn't lead to winning basketball. John Morant, hey, you may have cost your team a number 1 seed through your antics this past season. I mean, honestly, you may have cost your team the number 1 seed in the West due to your antics. Dillon Brooks, you may have cost yourself money by running your damn mouth. But like I said, he's still going to get paid. Some team's going to pick him up. He's going to get a nice contract, good young player. Not a guy you build around, but a guy I think you can kind of build with. But I think this postseason has humbled him more so than any other player that's on Memphis. I think it has humbled him the most. The guy ran away from press conferences. Unprofessional. I mean, for me, unprofessional. You had a lot to say. You were a topic of conversation. Hey, face the music. You said it. You call that man old. You like to poke bears. Well, keep poking. All right. One thing I can say about Draymond stands on his. Draymond stands on his. He's not backpedaling. He says what he says and kind of keeps it moving. Have that same mindset. Gator Girl says, I wish Brooks was actually good because Lee's been long missing a real villain. I think the days of having bad boy Piston type villains, the Knicks of the 90s type villains, though they don't even play ball like that no more to where you really have villains. I think Draymond is probably the closest the NBA has to a villain. I mean, honestly. And who else can you really put into that role? I mean, they don't play like that no more. The days of the Bruce Browns. I mean, excuse me, Bruce Bowen, Rodmans, the Lambeers, the Mahorns. They don't play that kind of ball no more. I mean, Dillon Brooks is good enough to play the villain role if he was going out there producing. Like if he was like, hey, I know we lost, but when I was guarding LeBron, he shot 25% when I was locking him up. I can go with that. But not when you getting lit up and you still running your mouth. That don't slide you into the villain role. I mean, you come off as immature. Yo, what did Josh say during the season? We're good in the West. I'm good in the West. I mean, that doesn't that doesn't breed villain. That just sounds immature. Like why give guys motivation? Because some guys are self-motivated, but some guys look for external motivation, man. Some guys do. They look for the press clippings, and coach know how to press the buttons to get them going. But my question of the night is, before I can kind of kick back and get back into watching the games, playoffs ruining, our injuries being ruined by get it out. Our injuries ruining the playoffs. I believe it is taking some of the shine off of this playoffs, but it's exciting to watch the results. I would say that some of the games I'm not really keen on watching this Miami New York game. No Butler. I like Jalen Brunson. I mean, maybe the only reason why I kind of tune back into the game. But other than that, it ain't must see TV. I mean, probably the most talked about series right now, probably Philadelphia, Boston with Golden State, and the Lakers a close second, because we're going to see does Embiid play? Team hasn't said much. Team hasn't put out anything. But we'll see. We'll see. But I kind of before I kind of close out the show, hold on, let me pull this up. I said I was going to kind of go over some of the schedule. I know some people like to do predictions for the season and all that kind of stuff, but um, the official schedule comes out next Thursday. Next Thursday, the official NFL schedule comes out where we'll know who's playing who, but we don't know when they're playing. So that schedule comes out next week. We'll kind of look at it when it comes out, when the schedule drops. We'll kind of break it down. What some of the must-see games. Of course, I'm gonna have the Cowboys, Eagles is definitely must-see TV for me. But based on last season's results and kind of where they're projected, top 5 easiest schedules going into this season. You got 3 from the NFC South. You got the Saints, Falcons, Panthers. You have Colts, and you have Chicago Bears. Not that I'm surprised that these teams have the easiest schedules, and you're wondering why Tampa Bay is not. They hate Tampa Bay won the division, therefore they have a little bit of harder schedule going into the next year. Typically, teams that had a harder schedule going into the next season, have had some kind of modicum of success, or the division just gets punished. Hardest schedules coming out next season projected so far. Number 1 is New England, Buffalo's 2nd, KC is 3rd, the Raiders surprisingly are 4th, and Miami's at 5th. I believe AFC, NFC East are playing this year against each other, so you're going to see a lot of good football. You got Jets coming up with Aaron Rodgers. Buffalo's still the lead dog in that division. Patriots, you can't ever rule them out. But like I said, it's a good strong division. AFC East, NFC East showed that they were strong last year, putting 3 teams in the playoffs. So I'm excited to see what that kind of looks like, us playing them. Like I said, schedule comes out next week, May 11th. We'll be breaking it down. I'm rooting for Philly now. You would root for Philly, Gator Girl. You would root for them. That's fine. I don't care who you root for. But over here, ain't but one team to talk about. Ain't but one team that we're going to be discussing ad nauseum when the season kicks back off. But no, all jokes aside, I want to kind of get back while it's halftime. Let me see what the score is at half, because I know it was like 2 minutes left a couple of minutes ago. All right, so Miami is up 3 on the Knicks. Let's see what I'm seeing. Caleb Martin is kind of carrying the scoring load. It's a team where got some guys coming off the bench, giving them buckets. Julius Randle is back tonight. RJ Barrett is kind of going off. Jalen Brunson look like he's in a fog. But I'm gonna get back to the second half of that game and all that good stuff. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with some more NBA news, because we're gonna have to talk about in depth Warriors Lakers, probably gonna be the game of the night. Steph, LeBron, chapter 5. But I'm looking forward to that game, and we'll hopefully have an update on Joel Embiid's injury. How long will CP3 be out? What does the Suns do? What is their game plan? Are they going to be able to get back into this series? We'll talk about it tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm not going to hold you. I don't like to. Yeah, it should be a good game. Yeah. Get a girl in here with the blasphemy. She got the Dubs by 15 tonight. I'll tell you what, Gator Girl. Let's have a small bet. Or I'm gonna still do talk anyway. Let's have a small bet. Your Dubs win by 15. I'll allow you to get up here and trash talk, as you like to call him, Lil Mickey, for the entire show. And I won't say a word. But if we win tonight, I expect you to be present and seated, because I will be giving you the business along with the Golden State Warriors. But game tips off tonight at 10. Make sure y'all check it out. As always, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody for sharing the shorts, watching shorts, all the good stuff. Eventually, I'm gonna get these lives off the ground and start doing some video editing probably next month, while it's kind of a downtime between the NBA and NFL. Kind of work on that. Not my Dubs, but bet. Okay. Hey, you heard it here first. Gator Girl, if the Dubs win tonight, I'm not even gonna give you points. If you win, I'll allow you to come up here and say whatever you got to say about LeBron James, greatest player of this generation on Mount Rushmore. But anyway, let me get up out of here so I can get back to this game. Appreciate everybody for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Still ain't got no outro, but I'm out.